Dreadhunter is a game that piqued my interest as soon as I got the trailer in the mailbox, even though it isn't typical genre covered on this channel. So what is this game, you curious bastards might ask? Isometric twin-stick shooter action RPG or something like that, with very appealing art style and fast-paced action with lots of stuff to like at first glance. Dreadhunter has launched in early access on Steam and you can get it by clicking the link in description. However, be careful, as game has a hefty price tag of 35 euros or dollars, and currently in the early access launch state it is far from worthy of that price tag. It does have potential to become something fantastic though. Title might confuse you a bit as it mentions many popular names. Game reminds me of Doom due to music choice, some enemy designs like Flash meets robotics, fast action style, glowing enemies that are finished with melee attacks for additional jobs, and weapons used are of the same type. Alien vs Predator because main character wears some kind of a mech suit that resembles Predator a bit, and Aliens because enemies resemble xenomorphs a lot, and I'm loving the designs. Dreadhunter is literally what you see is what you get, so there isn't much I can tell you that you can't see for yourself. Game is fast, dynamic and has great art style. Dreadhunter is structured, at least in this early access, with quick missions and a bit of story. I've beaten it on normal difficulty and now playing on hard. Not a fan of repetition system through hard difficulties, but for early access with not much content it works for testing purposes. Who knows how story progression and endgame content is going to be later. Now, story is there as a filler mostly, and I'm not expecting a lot from the final version. Basically what happened with these dread enemies, how they have popped up and why are they attacking the whole system. I appreciate that there is some explanation, but don't expect much. It is all about the gameplay, that is fantastic. Player gets 4 slots to equip 4 weapon types. For example, rocket launcher in 1 slot, grenade launcher in other, assault rifle in 3rd and power hammer in melee slot. Got 3 dashes that upon using all 3 go on a quick cooldown. Then we have 2 abilities, barrage and grenade. More abilities are gonna be introduced over time, cause I don't believe 2 is gonna be the final number. Now we combine all of that into a hell of a dynamic experience. Speed at which everything is happening is just the right amount in my opinion to be able to control everything. Chaining weapon attacks, abilities and dashes is very satisfying because of it. I would like to see dash having a better animation, as it can be too plastic with such a sound effect and unrealistic sudden movement. Weapons feel real nice and I like the itemization that allows for different behavior. For example, fire 3 explosives with 1 press instead of only 1. Fire kinetic weapons faster, and so on. Itemization is gonna play a big factor in final release, and I'm hoping for far more diversity with item bonuses that could affect the gameplay. Currently there are only 3 armor sets that complement 3 different weapon types: explosives, kinetic and plasma. At this moment there is enough weapon diversity throughout the 3 types, but I'm expecting more to come for final version, especially from itemization. Game is gonna need a lot more when it comes to character progression to keep players interested for prolonged period. Leveling is done in 3 ways: attribute upgrades, ability upgrades and itemization. There are mods too, but in early access it is not available. Same as the market, which tends to lead to clogged inventory issues quickly. Personal stash and market should alleviate the issue though. What I would love to see is much improved melee playstyle, cause there isn't a dedicated one. It is more like a secondary thing to finish off enemies. Animations are also quite plastic with weak sound effects. Overall sound effects are hit and miss, as some like rocket launchers sound great, but others like melee attacks and dash are weak. Overall I find Dreadhunter to be one of those simple but well-made games that is gonna live and die based on how long it can keep players engaged with the systems in place outside gameplay, cause gameplay is really good. Easy to get into, allows the room for mastering the game and could have potentially good character progression in the final version, but devs are gonna need to make a proper effort in that department. Dreadhunter has the potential to be something special and it is gonna have to be to justify the price tag. One to keep an eye out.